Have you ever noticed something strange about money? The person driving the most expensive car on your street might not be the wealthiest person there. The person wearing the most expensive watch might have the biggest monthly payments. And the person constantly posting luxury vacations might have less money saved than someone living quietly in an ordinary house. It sounds backwards, but there's a reason. The richest people often don't look rich. They don't necessarily drive luxury cars. They don't always wear designer clothes. They may use an older phone, live in a normal neighborhood, or eat at ordinary restaurants. And that's not because they can't afford luxury. Sometimes, it's because they understand something most people don't. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are two completely different things. And confusing the two can keep you broke for years. 1. Rich people care about what they own, not what they show. Imagine two people. Person A earns $100,000 a year. They drive a $70,000 car, live in an expensive apartment, upgrade their phone every year, eat at expensive restaurants, and constantly buy things that make them look successful. Person B also earns $100,000. But they drive a reliable used car, live below their means, invest consistently, and keep a large portion of their income working for them. From the outside, Person A looks richer. But financially? Person B may be far ahead. Because wealth isn't measured by how expensive your lifestyle looks. Wealth is what remains after your income stops working. Your house, your investments, your business, your savings, and other productive assets can continue creating value. A luxury purchase usually does the opposite. It takes money out of your pocket. That's the first mindset shift. Stop asking, how rich do I look? Start asking, how much wealth am I actually building? 2. Rich people understand the difference between assets and expenses. This is one of the most important concepts in personal finance. Suppose you receive a $10,000 bonus. You could spend it on a luxury watch. You could upgrade your car. You could buy expensive furniture. Or you could invest it. The first options might make you feel richer immediately. But the last option can potentially make you wealthier over time. That's because the investment has the potential to produce future returns. The watch doesn't pay you. The expensive restaurant doesn't pay you. The designer clothes don't pay you. In fact, many luxury purchases come with additional costs. Insurance, maintenance, interest, repairs, subscriptions, upgrades. And once your lifestyle becomes more expensive, you need even more income just to maintain it. That's how lifestyle inflation begins. You earn more. So you spend more. Then you need to earn even more. And eventually, despite making more money than ever, you still feel broke. 3. Rich people don't need to prove they're rich. This is where psychology becomes interesting. Why do people buy things they can't comfortably afford? Sometimes, it's not about the thing itself. It's about what the thing represents. A luxury car can represent success. A designer watch can represent status. An expensive vacation can represent freedom. A large house can represent achievement. The problem begins when your financial decisions are driven by other people's opinions. You aren't buying the car because you need it. You're buying it because you want people to see you differently. You're not upgrading your phone because your current one doesn't work. You're upgrading because everyone around you has the newest model. You're not eating at an expensive restaurant because you love the food. You're doing it because you want the experience to look impressive. And social media makes this even worse. You constantly see people displaying the highlight reel of their lives. Luxury cars, designer outfits, first-class flights, expensive watches, beautiful homes. And your ordinary life suddenly feels inadequate. But you don't see the credit card balance. You don't see the monthly payment. You don't see the debt. You don't see the amount sitting in their bank account. You're comparing your financial reality with someone else's marketing. 4. Wealthy people think in decades. Looking rich is about today. Building wealth is about the future. That's a massive difference. Someone focused on looking successful asks, what can I buy right now? Someone focused on building wealth asks, what can this money become? Imagine you have $20,000. You could spend it on something impressive. Or you could invest it and allow time and compounding to work. The second choice isn't exciting. Nobody sees your investment account when you walk down the street. Nobody compliments you for owning an index fund. Nobody takes a picture of your emergency savings. But invisible financial decisions can create visible wealth later. That's why wealth often looks boring while it's being built. 5. Rich people are comfortable looking ordinary. This may be one of the biggest advantages wealthy people have. They're comfortable saying, "No, I don't need that." They don't need to keep up with every trend. They don't need the newest phone. They don't need the biggest house their income can technically afford. They don't need to impress everyone at dinner. They can tolerate looking ordinary today because they're focused on creating an extraordinary financial future. And that's difficult. Because society rewards visible consumption. You can instantly see someone's expensive car. You can't instantly see their retirement account. You can see someone's designer clothes. You can't see their investment portfolio. You can see someone's luxury vacation. You can't see the years they spent quietly saving and investing. Visible consumption gets attention. Invisible wealth gets freedom. 6. The most expensive word in personal finance is deserve. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. You work hard. You should enjoy some of it. The problem is when the word deserve becomes an excuse for every purchase. I deserve a better car. I deserve a bigger house. I deserve a luxury vacation. I deserve the newest phone. Maybe you do. But here's the question. Can you afford it without sacrificing your future? Because there's a difference between being able to make a payment and being able to afford something. A $60,000 car might have a manageable monthly payment, but that doesn't mean it's financially smart. Affordability isn't just, can I pay the bill? It's, can I pay the bill while still building wealth? That's a completely different question. 7. Wealth is often boring. This is something nobody wants to hear. Building wealth usually isn't exciting. It can mean driving the same car for another few years, cooking at home, avoiding unnecessary debt, investing automatically, keeping your expenses under control, saying no to purchases your friends think you should make, waiting, repeating, waiting some more. There isn't much excitement in that. But boring financial habits can create extraordinary results. Meanwhile, exciting financial decisions can create extraordinary bills. The person who looks less successful today might have far more financial freedom 10 years from now. 8. Rich people buy freedom. This is the real goal. Not the car. Not the watch. Not the house. Freedom. Imagine having enough savings and investments that you don't have to panic when an unexpected expense appears. Imagine being able to leave a job you hate because you have financial options. Imagine being able to take time off without worrying about whether you can pay next month's bills. That's wealth. And sometimes, the path to that freedom looks incredibly ordinary. It looks like saving, investing, learning, building skills, starting businesses, avoiding unnecessary debt, and keeping your lifestyle under control. The irony is that the person who spends everything trying to look successful may have less freedom than the person who quietly builds wealth. 9. You don't need to stop spending. There's another important lesson here. The answer isn't to become obsessed with saving every dollar. Money is meant to be used. You should enjoy life. You can buy nice things. You can travel. You can have a beautiful home. You can drive a great car. The problem isn't luxury. The problem is buying luxury before you've built the financial foundation to support it. There's a huge difference between buying something because you can comfortably afford it and buying something because you desperately want people to think you can afford it. One creates enjoyment. The other can create stress. So don't ask, can I afford the lifestyle? Ask, can my wealth afford the lifestyle? That's a much better question. 10. The ultimate status symbol is financial independence. Think about the most impressive financial position you could have. It's not necessarily $1 million car. It's not a giant house. It's not a luxury watch. It's having choices. You can say no to bad opportunities. You can handle emergencies. You can take time off. You can invest when others are forced to sell. You can help your family. You can pursue work you actually care about. You don't need to prove anything. Because your financial security speaks for itself. And that is the difference between looking rich and being rich. Looking rich requires an audience. Being wealthy doesn't. The final lesson. The next time you see someone driving an incredible car, or wearing an expensive watch, don't automatically assume they're wealthy. They might be. Or they might simply be very good at looking wealthy. And the next time you see someone driving an ordinary car, wearing simple clothes, or living a quiet life, don't assume they're falling behind. They might be doing exactly the opposite. They could be building assets, investing consistently, avoiding unnecessary debt, and buying something far more valuable than status. Financial freedom. Because real wealth isn't about how expensive your life looks from the outside. It's about how much control you have over your life on the inside. So before your next big purchase, ask yourself one simple question. Am I buying this because I truly want it, or because I want people to think I'm successful? That question can save you more money than you realize. Because the richest person in the room isn't always the one who looks the richest. Sometimes, it's the person who has nothing to prove.